So I will say that this is like one of the first reviews where I looked up all of like the crew members.
You
And
looked up all the crew
I
members?
was like, the fuck else have you worked on?
Uh-huh.
Um,
It makes you wonder, right? Like
right, like
looking at it, it makes you
the
wonder, like,
director, we know the shit that he's done, right?
yeah,
But like he also co-wrote the screenplay with two other people. Um, one of them, Eric Roth, also wrote A Star Is Born, Will Smith's Ali, and Forrest Gump. And then John Spatz, I hope I'm saying that correctly, wrote Prometheus and Doctor Strange,
wow.
right? And then
I wish the quality of his work was consistent. But go ahead.
Hans Zimmer did the music. OG, great guy. So
Yeah, yeah.
Greg Fraser did the direct. He was the cinematographer, right?
Okay, yeah.
Um, he did. So he did Foxcatcher. If you ever saw that,
I've heard of that. I've never actually seen it.
it's pretty good. He also did Rogue One, which I can kind of see just because of like how massive in scale everything felt in Dune.
Yeah.
He's also he's also the director of photography for the new Batman movie,
This makes me happy.
right?
This makes me happy. Like, yeah, yeah. Knowing that he's gonna be on that after seeing this,
Oh, dude.
I'm
Like,
optimistic.
the first thing I want to talk about really is honestly the audio
Okay.
is amazing. Like
It's
not just the music and the sound editing, the voice. Like,
yeah, yeah. They oh my god, like the voice when they speak all the different languages and all of that, like oh my god. The languages are done very well in this film. No.
how did you feel about the movie?
As a whole, it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. I think it's one of the like outside of like Star Wars, like literally Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, I haven't seen anything like that visually appealing.
I would say on Blade Runner 2049 is probably
Right,
the
right, right.
closest
Okay, yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
Blade Runner 2049. But like those are like that's like a certain quality of movie. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like that, like and when I say like Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, like yeah, Blade Runner's there, and now this was phenomenal. I I love the ship designs. Fucking the costumes. The
Dude,
costumes was something different.
with sci-fi movies, it's really easy to be taken out
Yeah,
and be like, "Oh, I'm watching a sci-fi movie." This
yeah,
just kept you in, and
yeah.
it's just one of those movies where it just felt like every single frame they like took time and was like, "How is the absolute best way to film this?"
I think COVID probably helped in that regard. It probably gave them time to um perfect their vision for the film because you can tell a lot of time went into this. If it takes forever to part two to come, if it's gonna look like like
Take as much
this,
time as you need.
please, please, I'll wait another 3 years for another one for the next one if the next one comes, which I hope.
It
I pray
it
to God.
absolutely fucking needs to. So I want to talk about the cast for a moment.
Okay,
First of all, Zendaya.
Zendaya, yeah.
Um, she was not in it nearly as much as I thought she would be.
No, they set it up perfect. I feel like we didn't even need her for like the for this first part. Like,
Like for that beginning.
yeah,
Honestly, okay. So first of all, we all know she's a goddess, right?
yeah,
So when they're like showing like her eyes, like my first thought wasn't like, oh, they're making their eyes really blue. I legitimately it was just like she has some blue ass eyes, damn. And then I saw other people and I was like, oh, okay.
okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
But like,
What little bit she was in there was good though. Like I'm talking when I'm saying like his like her dialogue and all of that
mhm.
was like yeah, yeah. I
And
enjoyed the little bit that she was in.
Timothy Chalamet does a great
What are,
job again.
and what were we expecting honestly? You know, like clearly.
that's got to be hard, you know, because he's really carrying. I don't want to. He's not carrying the movie on his back because the movie's so great and so giant, but he's carrying the story on his back.
He's carrying the story on his back. So was and her name is escaping me. The dude who plays his the dude who
Mother,
plays the
Jessica,
woman. Yeah,
Atreides, Rebecca
yeah,
Ferguson.
yeah, yeah,
She
yeah.
was amazing as well.
Phenomenal, phenomenal.
That scene with like it's very early on, but the box
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and like she's crying. Oh my god.
Oh, can we get the who's next on your list? Because I know who I want to talk about.
Oscar Isaac.
No, Stellan Skarsgård.
Oh my god. I, if it wasn't for his voice, I wouldn't have recognized him for a
Yeah,
while.
yeah, yeah. The effects around him were crazy. Every scene he was in, it was menacing.
Looking like a menacing blob.
Just yeah, like the biggest menacing blob you could possibly imagine. He was just a fat piece of shit. It was crazy. I enjoyed it.
This movie reminded me a lot of like Game of Thrones, but like
I think
condensed.
I think I think on some level it was meant to. It wouldn't surprise me. Wait, when did the first Song of Ice and Fire book come out? I
I,
know it was. I know it had to be after the first Dune book came out.
yeah, it
If that
looks
makes sense.
like 1996 for Game of Thrones and 1965 for Dune.
Yeah.
So it's a
So
little bit.
it wasn't. And like from what I know, George R. R. Martin is like a huge like nerd, like for all things. So
But like,
it wouldn't surprise me if this movie took beats from like this movie specifically, drew like maybe like some conceptual storytelling inspiration from the Game of Thrones series.
which, like, I know like a lot of people's opinion on it is kind of soured, but like at its best, it was amazing.
Yeah,
And Dune is firing at its best.
yeah,
Even Oscar Isaac in it, he was a little quiet, reserved. He didn't try to like steal any scenes, but he was
mm-hmm.
just like a strong character.
Mm-hmm. Which I think is a testament to, again, we talk about him a lot on this channel, but
This is just an Oscar Isaac fan channel.
clearly, but I think it's a testament to him as an actor because he can steal a scene if he wants to, right? Mm-hmm. He knows his place in the scene, if that makes sense.
And then if we want to go into almost scene chewing, like just from the moment they're on screen, it's a immediate presence. Javier Bardem.
Yes. Which again, the thing about this cast is like, look at the cast and tell me you were expecting anything other than what you saw.
Everyone is just fucking firing.
No, like nobody was bad.
Nobody
to me, the weakest link in the cast was Jason Momoa. And
okay.
even he did what it was he was supposed to do.
I would say if I had to pick a weakest link of the cast, I would probably say Josh Brolin.
Okay. I could say he's to me, he's like right there.
Mm-hmm. But even then, he was still like with what he needed to do, he was great.
Immaculate, yeah.
One thing that I really appreciated was just the fact that they took their time to build the world. Because a lot of modern sci-fi movies nowadays, they just they gloss over the world so you can get to the characters.
Yeah.
And that's not what you really want in a sci-fi movie. If you're being introduced to a world, you want to hear about the world. You want to see the politics of it. You want to see how the world works.
Yeah.
And they take their time to be like to set up all of these different factions, all of these different groups of people, to where when things start going down, you're not just sitting there going, what's happening? You're just like, oh, shit.
Yeah. I love that it was 3 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
I love that it was 3 hours long.
If
I just sat there for another hour and watched it.
100%. Yeah. Like, if I had to have one piece of criticism for the movie, it feels like they didn't finish the third act before it ended.
Mm-hmm. It could have used, so that the movie was 2 hours and 45 minutes. I think it could have used 15 more minutes.
And then like my first thought was like, well, we should get a sequel.
Yeah,
You can't just stop it there.
yeah.
Um,
Um, like we were saying before we started recording. Hopefully they start. Hopefully the money comes in for it because I need this sequel.
Before we go into spoilers, I actually want to say something about that.
Okay.
So, as a rough estimate, they kind of have to make double their budget to cover like advertising, and they've been advertising it for like a year,
Mhm.
and I can't remember where exactly it's at. It's like 130 million or something like that. But like it technically opens Friday. So would I recommend you watch this? Absolutely. It's a slow burn sci-fi epic.
That's an
And
understatement.
it's an
Like,
understatement. Yeah.
yeah, that to me, even calling it an epic is a bit of an understatement because of the scale. I I haven't seen anything like that for a long time. Like
Mm.
when I think of an epic, I think of like the feels of Pelennor from Return of the King. Like that to me, that's like the epitome. I don't even think Star Wars has ever like adequately matched the scale of what I like just saw.
So here's the thing. If you watch this, you will want the second part.
Yes.
Undeniably. You will go,
Yeah.
I want the rest of this story. And so to do that, you have to watch it. And you can watch it in theaters. You can also watch it on HBO Max.
Mm-hmm.
And if it doesn't make the money, it's not going to get it. That's how I feel like it's going to be. So if you can watch it in theaters, watch it in theaters, because there's two different ways that they can track how it's being watched. The box office, which is the older like standard, and then there's the streaming. And no one knows what any of that means yet. Like, there could be like, how many times has it been streamed? Or is there a drop in subscribers? Is there added subscribers? This is the first time that they're genuinely putting out like new blockbuster movies out on streaming services. And without that, or like without that knowledge, it's so, how do I phrase this? It's more difficult to adequately judge based on streaming alone because they're still figuring it out, right? So let's say you can't go to the theaters and all you can do is watch HBO Max. That's fine, but talk about it. Tweet about it, tell a friend, like get the word of mouth going.
Yeah, treat this like you should be treating global warming.
Global warming can wait. We need Dune Part 2.
Yeah. We might be done for in 7 years, but hey,
we can get Dune 2 in 3. So
in that time period. So talk about it.
Do you want to go into spoilers a little bit now?
Let's go into spoilers. I'm with it.
All right, so we are spoiling this now. If you haven't seen it, shut this off. Just watch
don't. Or watch it. Don't be a bitch. Anyway.
Their shields was like the coolest effect that I've seen in a long time.
I think so.
With the blue and the red, and
it had to grow on me.
Mm-hmm.
It had to grow on me.
Yeah, the first scene, I was like, when they were like practicing, I was like, how is this going to be? But when I saw like everyone going at each other, I was like, oh shit, this is cool.
Yeah, it ended up looking cool and like that big battle when the Harkonnens arrived on. I love being able to talk with spoilers. When the Harkonnens arrived on Arrakis and they oh my god, dude, my favorite scene in the whole movie, and you're probably going to disagree with this, but my favorite scene in the whole movie is when they introduce the Emperor's Blades, the Sardaukors. And like it's like the dude standing on like this podium speaking in like this weird, almost mechanical language. And like it's like showing like all the oh my god, it's like showing like all these soldiers and shit. But yeah, the scene with the Imperial representatives arriving on House Atreides' homeworld was amazing.
the scene where Jason Momoa's character dies.
Mhm.
Have you ever seen it reminded me of the movie 13 Ghosts.
Which scene from the 13 Ghosts?
You said which scene?
Yeah.
There's the one where Matthew Lillard like sacrifices himself at the end, and he like pushes like the glass door against them, and then he just gets like the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Which is one of my favorite scenes in that movie.
Yeah.
I thought like the part where he kind of dies, but then kind of like comes back.
Mhm.
That was a point where I was like, all right, if he survives this, I'm like, this is not going to be something
I figured. I figured he wouldn't. Yeah, but yeah, dude. Nah, I figured he wouldn't. I figured he wouldn't. And that's the thing too. That's something else that made it feel very Game of Thrones. It's just like you don't know who's going to make. You figure Paul Atreides is going to make it, right?
I would say that like two things. One, their shields are not that fucking effective.
They're not, right?
Like he literally just got. They were like, oh, they're like Josh Brolin, like he explains it, and you like if you go slowly, like it penetrates the shield. But then like every time, like they shoot poor Oscar. They just fucking shoot the guy, and it goes, and then slowly enters. I'm like, what's the point of the shield?
I was wondering that too. I'm like, yo, these shields are trash, bro. Like, what does it protect you from? What does it protect you from?
And I think that my favorite scene was the final fight with Paul and then the other guy,
the Fremen. Yeah.
Just because it like that kind of like that was the scene where he kind of like became more than who he was. Yeah,
who he's meant to be. Yeah.
And just like the scene of like them fighting and like him not wanting to do it, but the guy's like, and like he just goes like full. I was shook by that for a second, just because like they're fighting, and then there's like he's gonna have to kill him, and then it just cuts to the Freeman going.
Well, it makes sense because that's their culture, right? Like to to not kill him is like disrespectful to them.
Yeah. But then he did, and like I love the moment where his mom is like they were like we need to get off world, and he's like no, like we were sent here with a purpose.
Yeah. Which that part was actually kind of confusing to me because they're like, no, you were sent there for the purpose of dying. You were sent there for the express purpose of dying on Arrakis. You weren't actually sent there to protect the planet or do all that other like honorable shit. Like you were sent there to die. That was a setup.
But I feel like at that point, like he's got like they've helped him, like they've got him to safety to where he's like, I'm not just gonna leave them.
I get that part. I get that part. Yeah, I think it was his choice of words for me. Like I got the sentiment right. Like yo, I'm here now, and this is like I get it. Like this is our charge. This is my charge, right? But at the same time, it's like no, that's not why you were sent there. So I get like it was a good scene. It was a good scene either
way. The scene where everyone like the whole base gets attacked. It had like a D-Day Pearl Harbor type feel.
Yeah.
Where you just saw everything go up and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah. I love like those big like tube ships that they have. And all the little ships come out of the mouth of the tube ship. I'm like, oh, this is crazy.
How'd you feel about the giant worm?
The first time I saw it, when they were rescuing the spice miners or whatever, and like it just swallowed the whole thing, I was like, it looked beautiful. It looked like coming from under the sand.
I loved it how you just see like it slowly, like the sand slowly like moving up. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh shit, something's about to happen.
Or the sandworm where it was like right in front of them. Like they're like running from it and it comes out the sand is like looking down, like they're looking up at it.
Mhm.
Oh,
That
it was amazing.
gorgeous.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I'm probably gonna watch it again today. It's that
I am too.
Dune was just fucking good,
man. So how would you rate it out of 5?
Like 9.8.
9.8 out of 5.
9.8 out of 5. because it's not complete yet. You know?
It'll get the other 0.2 and become a 10 out of 5 when the second one comes out.
Yeah. Because it wasn't complete, but outside of that, it was outside of like little minute things, it was perfect.
Yeah,
it was perfect.
Like, I always get aggravated whenever people say like, "Oh, well, they don't make good movies anymore."
That's a lot.
Because they do. Like,
I know how people will look at this though. People will try to justify it as like not being good because it's just another remake. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But
it's more than that.
This is more than that. Yeah.
I want people to support Dune.
Please.
Even if it's not your cup of tea, give it a shot because it might just shock you.
Yeah, Dune was. I need more. How would you rate it?
I'd probably go 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
I think that it's hard because at the end of the year I'm going to be like ranking like a top 10 or whatever, and I know it's going to be very near, if not at the top. And that's after like one watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you watch this movie and you don't like it, you're a fucking loser. I don't know how else to put it.
No, because some people just may not like slow.
No. If you don't like it, you're a loser. Okay, you're a loser. You have a short attention span, and you probably lead a very depressing life. This is a very good movie.
He's saying that now because he's gonna live a depressed life until Dune Part 2 comes out.
Exactly that.
He's projecting.
Exactly that. So if you don't enjoy this movie, buddy, you suck.
Yeah. Stop. We're done here.
Okay, all jokes aside, please like the video, comment, subscribe, share it, and go watch Dune.
You're a fucking loser.